Hello, welcome to the Myschool channel. My name is Angela, and in this video we're going to continue tackling the English language JAMB question for the year 2001. Please stay with us, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Myschool channel. Like I said earlier, we'll be tackling the JAMB question for the year 2001 for English language. So we're going to be focusing on questions 26 to 50. Let's begin with question 26. Choose the word that does not have the same vowel sound as the others. Option A, bail. Option B, saint. Option C, plat. And option D, gate. Now let's go to the board to transcribe the words. So for option A, it's pronounced as bail. So the vowel sound that is there is the A sound, the diphthong A. For option B, it's pronounced saint. So we still have that diphthong A in between the consonant sounds. And then for option C, it's pronounced plat. Although sometimes we feel like it's plate. Here in Nigeria, we pronounce it as plate. But the proper pronunciation, the proper British pronunciation is plat. So we have the short vowel sound A there. Then option D is pronounced gate. So we still have the vowel sound A here. So we can see that option C is the only one that has the A sound. So let's go to the screen to mark our answer. So from the transcription of the vowel sound, we can see that option C is the only one that doesn't have the same vowel sound as the others. This makes option C the answer to this question. Question 27. Choose the option opposite in meaning to the underlined word. The lecture seemed interminable. Option A, unending. B, boring. C, interesting. And D, brief. The answer to this question is option D, brief. So the word interminable means something that is unending. You can see when you divide the word into different morphemes, you can see that it's gotten from the word terminate. So terminate is the root word. To terminate something means to end something. Then we have the prefix in. The prefix in means that it's the opposite of that word. So from this, we can see that interminable means something that doesn't end. So that's how you get the meaning of a word, by breaking down the words into separate parts. So this word means something that doesn't end. The lecture seemed interminable, the lecture seemed unending. So the opposite of that would be brief. Something that is brief means it has an end. So it is the best opposite to the word interminable. This makes option D the answer to this question. Question 28. Again, we have to choose the option opposite in meaning to the underlined words. Had I known about their plan much earlier, I would have nipped it in the bud. Option A, stopped it. Option B, initiated it. Option C, squashed it. And option D, promoted it. The answer to this question is option D, promoted it. To nip something in the bud is to prevent or stop something from developing, from growing further. So it's referring to how you nip a plant in the bud. You cut it, you nip it in the bud to prevent it from growing, from developing. So the opposite of that would be to promote it, to allow it to grow, to develop. So it might feel like option B, initiated it, is the answer, but it's not about stopping something. It's much more than that. It's about preventing it from developing further. Initiated it can't be the opposite of that. To initiate something means to start it, but the opposite of that is to promote it, to allow it to grow and develop. So this makes option D, promoted it, the answer to this question. Question 29. Again, we have to select the option opposite in meaning to the underlined word. What a harmless thought he has. Option A, pernicious. B, pertinent. C, pleasant. And D, perfect. The answer to this question is option A, pernicious. Something that is harmless means something that doesn't cause harm. It is harmless, so it doesn't cause harm. So the opposite of that would be pernicious. Pernicious is something very dangerous or harmful. So that makes pernicious the opposite of harmless. Something that is pertinent means something that is of primal importance. Very important. Something pleasant is something good, something amazing. Something perfect is not the opposite of harmless. Something perfect is something that is the best. So the option that is opposite to harmless is pernicious, something dangerous or harmful. Option A is the answer to this question. Question 30. The town was all agog at its unexpected return. Option A, on fire. B, excited. C, unexcited. And D, surprised. The answer to this question is option C, unexcited. To be agog with something means to be eager, to be in high anticipation of something that's about to happen. So the opposite of that would be unexcited. When you're unexcited about something, that means you are not eager about something that is about to happen. So unexcited is the opposite of agog. Option C is the answer to this question. Question 31. In his naivety, he believed all the stories his friend told him. A, artlessness, B, stupidity, C, friendliness, and D, incredulity. The answer to this question is option D, incredulity. Naivety means someone who is naive, someone who is willing to believe everything without question. So the opposite of that would be someone who is incredulous. That means someone who is very skeptical, who is not willing to believe everything that is told to him. So the opposite of naivety is incredulity. Option D is the answer to this question. Question 32. The journalist's write-up contained a plethora of detail. Option A, shortage, B, simplicity, C, complexity, and D, spectrum. The answer to this question is option A, shortage. A plethora of something means an abundance, an excess of something. So the opposite of that would be a shortage of something. So option A, shortage, is the answer to this question. Question 33. Again, we have to select the option opposite in meaning to the underlined words. Amina's performance in the examination surpassed my expectations. Option A was disappointing, B lacked merit, C was extraordinarily good, and D amazed everyone. The answer to this question is option A was disappointing. When something surpasses your expectation, that means it went above what you expected the outcome to be. So the opposite of that would be something that was disappointing. When something is disappointing, that means it did not meet the expectation. It did not meet your expectation of that thing. So it can't be option B, lacked merit, because it has nothing to do whether something has merit or not. It has to do with what you expected of something to happen, right? Your expectation of something. So was disappointing is the opposite in meaning, so surpassed my expectation. Option A is the answer to this question. Question 34. These boys never act in public, so the police are now worried about their covert activities. Option A, ignoble, B, evil, C, open, and D, cryptic. The answer to this question is option C, open. So something that is covert means something that is done in secret, that is not allowed to be discussed openly. And we can also see from the way the sentence is structured, these boys never act in public. So from the way this sentence is structured, it's very easy to know the meaning of covert. Since the boys never act in public, that means that the police are now worried about their covert activities, those things that they do not do in public. So we already know that covert means secret. So the opposite of secret will be option C, open. Do you know you can take practice questions with a simulated JAMB CBT past question? All you need to do is to go down to the link in the description below. This takes you to the Myschool website, where you can download the Myschool mobile app for your Android devices and the Myschool software for your laptops and computers. Please go ahead and start practicing. Now to question 35. Again, we have to select the option opposite in meaning to the underlined word. It is inconceivable that the rat devoured the cat. Option A, contestable, B, incomprehensible, C, credible, and D, unimaginable. The answer to this question is option C, credible. Something that is inconceivable means something that is impossible to believe or to imagine. So the opposite of inconceivable will be something that is backed up by facts, something that is believable, something that can be imagined. So that is credible. Something that is credible is something that is backed up by facts, that has evidence. So option C, credible, is the answer to this question. I believe you're enjoying this content. If yes, please do not forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and lastly, tap on the notification bell to get informed as soon as we release the next videos. Question 36. In the later parts of his life, the famous soldier showed signs of youthfulness. Option A, energy, B, senility, C, bravery, and D, vitality. The answer to this question is option B, senility. Senility is the opposite of youthfulness. Youthfulness means you have energy, you are young, you are vibrant. The opposite of that is someone who is senile. So when you are senile, that means you have aged, you are deteriorating, and so you lack that youthful energy that is characterized by youthfulness. So the opposite of youthfulness is option B, senility. Question 37. Again, we have to choose the option opposite in meaning to the underlined words. Some equatorial areas have a sultry climate. Option A, a hot, B, an inclement, C, a temperate, and D, a stable. The answer to this question is option C, a temperate. A sultry climate is a climate that is usually hot and humid because they are staying in an area that is directly facing the sun. So the opposite of that would be a temperate climate. A temperate climate is a climate that is usually cool and moderate. That's because they are far away from the sun. The sun doesn't hit directly at them. So option C, a temperate, is the answer to this question. Question 38. There is much apathy towards reading among students nowadays. Option A, enthusiasm, B, indecision, C, disinclination, and D, indifference. The answer to this question is option A, enthusiasm. Apathy means lack of interest, lack of concern or enthusiasm. So the opposite of that would be enthusiasm. That means you have a lot of interest, you are eager towards doing something. So the opposite of apathy is enthusiasm. Option A is the answer to this question. Question 39. Again, we have to select the option opposite in meaning to the underlined words. Updating the board's brochure is an arduous task. Option A, an easy, B, an annual, C, a regular, and D, a difficult. The answer to this question is option A, an easy. So an arduous task is a task that is very difficult, that requires a lot of hard work and effort to be put into it. So the opposite of that would be a task that is easy, that doesn't require a lot of effort or hard work put into it. So option A, an easy, is the answer to this question. Question 40. All wondered why the principal was ambivalent about the student's future. Option A, anxious, B, inconsiderate, C, ambitious, and D, decisive. The opposite in meaning to that is option D, decisive. So when someone is ambivalent, that means the person has mixed and conflicting feelings about something, and so the person is not able to make a decision about it. So the opposite of that would be decisive. That means being able to make quick decisions about something. So option D, decisive, is the opposite of ambivalence. Option D is the answer to this question. Question 41. Identify the word that has a different stress pattern from the others. Option A, classroom, B, program, C, July, and D, brother. So the answer to this question is option C, July. But in order to find out the stress pattern for each of them, you have to pronounce the words. It's important to use your judgment for questions like this. Although there are rules that usually help, that guide you towards where to place the stress in a particular word, it's important to know that these rules do not always work out. So your judgment is the most important when answering questions like this. So when you pronounce the word classroom, you can feel that the stress is on the first syllable. Classroom, classroom. Also, it's a compound noun, and for compound nouns, the stress is usually on the first word in that compound. So the stress is on class, classroom. Then for B, program, program, you can feel the stress on the first syllable, program. It's also a noun. For nouns, the stress is usually on the first syllable. Then option C, July. July is a noun, but the stress is not on the first syllable. So you can see that sometimes, even when we have rules, the rules don't always work in all situations. So it's important to revert back to your judgment in cases like this. So July is pronounced as July. So the stress is on the second syllable. It's on lie and not on July. Then option D, brother, brother. The stress is on the first syllable because it's a noun, and also because there is a weak syllable in the second one. So the stress falls on the first syllable. So we have classroom, program, July, and brother. So from the explanation, we can see that option C is the one that has a different stress pattern because the stress is on the second syllable. So option C is the answer to this question. Question 42. Identify the word that has a different stress pattern from the others. Option A, temperamental, B, administrative, C, circulation, and D, consideration. So the answer to this question is option B, administrative. Again, when we are looking at stress patterns like this, it's important to use your judgment. This is a multi-syllabic word. It doesn't have 2, 3, or 4 syllables. It doesn't have 2 or 3 syllables. And so this time around, it's your judgment that it's important. So you try to pronounce the words and feel where the stress should be placed. So for the word temperamental, the stress is placed on 2 words in the syllable. There is a primary stress and a secondary stress. So when you pronounce the word temperamental, you can feel stress on tem and men, but there is more stress on men than there is on temperamental. So the stress is on men, that's the primary stress. Then we have a secondary stress here. Then for the word administrative, the stress is on men. So although we can see that there is a weak syllable in this second syllable, but it's important to note that when there are weak syllables in all syllables in the word, that rule doesn't apply anymore. Now you have to use your judgments. And when you pronounce the word administrative, you can feel the stress on the second syllable. Then for the word circulation, the stress is on lay, circulation. Then for consideration, the stress is on ray. Again, because all other syllables there are weak. So that's why the stress is on Ray. And again, when you use your judgment consideration, you can feel the stress on Ray. So from the analysis of this stress pattern, we can see that administrative has a different stress pattern, because while others have stress on the third syllable, the stress is on the second syllable in administrative. So option B is the answer to this question. Question 43. Choose from the option the word that has the same consonant sound as the one represented by the letters underlined. The word is church. Option A, feature, B, chauffeur, C, ocean, and D, machine. Now let's go to the board to transcribe the consonant sounds. So for the word church, the underlined words are C and H. It's pronounced church. So we have the ch sound here. So this is a single consonant sound. It's pronounced ch. Then option A, we have feature. You can see the ch sound here. Feature. Then for option B, we have chauffeur. Chauffeur. So the first consonant sound there is pronounced sh, chauffeur. Then option C is pronounced ocean. So we have the sh sound here, ocean. Then option D has machine. It's pronounced machine. So we also have the sh sound here. So from this, we can see that option A, feature, has a similar consonant sound as the one we can find in church. So now let's go to the screen to mark our answer. So from the transcription of the consonant sound, we can see that option A, feature, has the same consonant sound as the one we find in church. Option A is the answer to this question. Question 44. Again, we have to select the option that has the same consonant sound as the one in the letter underlined. So the word is past. Option A, we have wrestle, B, preached, C, castle, and D, pasture. Now let's go to the board to transcribe the words. So for the word past, we have the T sound as the sound that is represented in the letter underlined. Then option A is pronounced wrestle. So the T is silent in that word. So we have the transcription wrestle. Wrestle. Then option B is pronounced preached. Preached. So it's important to note that when a particular noun ends with s, sh, or ch, or any other voiceless sound, the plural morpheme that is attached to it has to be the voiceless t sound. But when it ends with a voiced sound, the plural morpheme attached will be the d. So for example, when you have the word bag, this g is voiced because you can feel your vocal cord vibrates when you pronounce the g sound, g. So when you have the plural morpheme attached to it, as in bagged, you have the d sound and not the t. But when you have a voiceless sound, as the one we have here, which is ch, you have the voiceless morpheme attached to it. So when you transcribe this word, you have preached, preached, not preached, preached. So that it can, merge nicely with the voiceless sound, you have to have a voiceless plural morpheme attached to it. Then option C is pronounced castle. So for the word castle, the T is silent as well. So when you transcribe it, you have castle. Then for the word pasture, it's transcribed as pass. Then you have the ch sound, and then you have this pasture. So from this transcription, we can see that the only option that has that sound is the option B, where we have the plural morpheme t and not d. So let's go to the screen to mark our answer. So from the transcription of these words, we can see that option B, preached, has that consonant sound t that we can find in past. So option B is the answer to this question. Do you have a question? Please feel free to ask your question by going down to the link in the description below. This takes you to the Myschool website where you can ask your question and the solution will be provided to you within a short period of time. Now on to question 45. Choose from the option the word that has the same consonant sound as the one represented by the letters underlined. So the word is think. Option A, though. Option B, thought. Option C, Thames. And option D, Thomas. Now let's go to this board to transcribe the words. So we have the word think. Think. So whenever you have T and H, most of the time, it has that sound F or th, depending on the word. So in this particular word, it's the voiceless one. So when you pronounce it, you put your tongue in between your upper and lower teeth, or you put your tongue against your upper teeth to pronounce it. You can either pronounce it as thank or think. So we have the sound F here. It's pronounced think. Then for this option A, we have though. So it's pronounced as the voiced one. So your vocal cord vibrates when you pronounce the word though. Then for thoughts, it's voiceless. When you put your hand against your vocal cord, it doesn't vibrate when you pronounce the sound. Thoughts. So we have this one here as well. Then for the word things, it's important to note that this particular word, though it begins with TH, it doesn't have either this or this. So this is an exception to that rule where when you have TH, it's usually either this or this. So in this particular case, it's pronounced ts, and the entire word is transcribed as Thames. So they're talking about the river Thames. So it's not Thames, it is Thames. So this question comes out a lot. It's designed to confuse students, but it's important to note the proper pronunciation of this word. Also, the name Thomas doesn't have that F or V at the beginning, even though it has the TH. It's pronounced Thomas. So when you transcribe it, you have Thomas. So you can see that this and this doesn't have that F or V sound. So from the transcription, we can see that both think and thought have that voiceless sound at the beginning of the word. Now let's go to the screen to mark our answer. So from the transcription, we can see that option B, thought and think, both have that F sound. So this makes option B the answer to this question. Do you have a better explanation or solution to any of these questions? If you do, please go down to the comment section below, indicate the question number and the solution you'd like to share. Question 46. Again, we have to select the option that has the same consonant sound as the one represented by the letter. So the word is sure. Option A, chair. Option B, cheap. Option C, charlatan. And option D, church. Now let's go to the board to transcribe the consonant sounds. So for the word sure, the underlined letter is pronounced as sh. So we have the sh sound here. Then for the word chair, it's ch, chair. So we have the ch sound. Then for cheap, it's also ch, cheap. So we also have the ch sound here. Then for charlatan, it's pronounced charlatan. So we have the sh sound here. Then church, both at the beginning and the end, we have the ch sound. So it's important to note the difference between these two. This is pronounced ch, this is pronounced sh. So from this transcription, we can see that sure and charlatan have the same consonant sound. So let's go to the screen to mark our answer. So from the transcription of the consonant sounds, we can see that option C, charlatan, is the answer to this question. Question 47. The word in capital letters has an emphatic stress. Choose the option that best fits the expression in the sentence. Your sister should come with us tomorrow. Option A, should your brother come with us tomorrow? B, should our brother come with us tomorrow? C, should Ado come with us tomorrow? And D, should my sister come with us tomorrow? So the answer to this question is option D, should my sister come with us tomorrow? Remember that emphatic stress is the placement of greater stress on a particular word in an utterance. So this is usually done for clarity. This is usually done for clarification or for emphasis. So in this particular case, someone has asked a question and has made an error in the question that he or she has asked. So the person who is responding to the question is trying to clarify the error that has been made by the person who asked the question. So in this particular case, the person has made a mistake, assuming that it is my sister that should come with us tomorrow. But the person is trying to clarify that it is your sister, not mine, that should come with us tomorrow. So you can see that in the question, only one word is different from the one in the utterance, and that is my. And the one that replaces it is the emphasized word. But for the other ones, it is something different. This one says, should Ado come with us tomorrow? But there is no sister there, so there is more than one difference in the utterance. Should our brother come with us? Both our and brother is different. For option A, should your brother come with us tomorrow? Both your and brother is different. So you can see that it is only your that is emphasized. So you are looking for an option that has a word that is different from the your and nothing else. So this is why option D, should my sister come with us tomorrow, is the answer. So the question, should my sister come with us tomorrow, has a response, no. Your sister should come with us tomorrow. Option D is the answer to this question. Question 48. Again, we are to look for the option that best fits the expression in the sentence. My neighbor bruised his thigh while playing football. Option A, did your neighbor break his leg while playing tennis? B, did your neighbor fracture his thigh while playing football? C, was your neighbor involved in an accident? And D, did your neighbor play football yesterday? So the answer to this question is option B, did your neighbor fracture his thigh while playing football? So remember, emphatic stress is placing greater stress on a particular word in an utterance for emphasis or clarification. So in this case, the person who is responding is trying to clarify an error that has been made by the person who asked the question. So the person made an error by saying that the neighbor fractured his thigh while playing football. But the person is trying to clarify that he did not fracture his thigh, but bruised his thigh. So it's important to note also that it is only that word that is in capital letter that should be different in the question that is asked. So did your neighbor fracture his thigh while playing football? No. My neighbor bruised his thigh while playing football. So option B is the answer to this question. Question 49. Again, we have to choose the option that best fits the expression given in the sentence. So they flew to Abuja. Option A, did they go to Abuja by road? B, did they fly to Jos? C, how will they get to Abuja? D, where did they fly to? So the answer to this question is option A, did they go to Abuja by road? Again, it's the placement of greater stress on a particular word in an utterance. So that is what emphatic stress is. So it is either done for emphasis or for clarification. So this person is actually trying to clarify a mistake that was made in the question. Did they go to Abuja by road? So by road is an assumption that they actually went to Abuja by road and not by any other means. The person is trying to ask a question though, but there is an apprehension that they actually did go to Abuja by road. But the person is trying to correct that misapprehension by saying they did not go by road, but they flew to Abuja. So did they go to Abuja by road? No, they flew to Abuja. So that is the reason why flew is emphasized, to correct the misapprehension in the question, by road. So option A, did they go to Abuja by road, is the answer to this question. Question 50. Fill each gap with the most appropriate option from the list provided. I do not think any sane person would have acted in such a dash manner. Option A, rational. B, composed. C, secret. D, cruel. The answer to this question is option D, cruel. So in this particular sentence, context is important. You have to look at the things that surround that gap in order to know what should fit in the gap. So I do not think any sane person would have acted in such a dash manner. They are talking about something a sane person should not do, right? A sane person has to act in a rational manner, right? A sane person acts in a rational manner. But someone who is not sane doesn't act in a rational manner. So rational cannot fit that option, that gap. Because a sane person always acts in a rational manner. But you're saying you do not think a sane person should act in such a manner. So option B, composed too, also has positive connotation. A sane person always acts in a composed manner. So it can't fit in that gap. So a sane person may or may not act in a secret manner. But in this particular case, you are looking at something that fits in that gap that shows that this person is not acting in a sane manner, right? So something that best fits in that gap is cruel. Someone who is cruel is someone who is harsh, who behaves in a way that is harmful to other people. So a sane person will not behave in a way that is harmful to other people. That's the behavior of someone who is not sane. So cruel is the best option to fill in that gap. So option D is the answer to this question. I believe you're enjoying this content. If yes, please don't forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and lastly, tap on the notification bell to get informed as soon as we release the next videos.